This is a 10-minute snowboard follow-along workout. We are going to be covering today nose and tail presses with 180s out, both front side and back side, and we're going to have 3 different variations of skill for this. I want you guys to keep up with me if possible and follow along. Here we go. First thing, jump into a tail press, jump back to neutral, and from here jump into a nose press and jump into neutral. We're going to do that exact same technique, but we're going to add 180s in and 180s out. So specifically, I want you to try this front side 180 using counter rotation, switch front side 180 using counter rotation. Notice how upper and lower body are twisting against each other. What we're going to do now is we're going to add that to the tail press. So I'm going to move this way just so you can see me a little bit. I'm going to go tail press, open up my body, counter rotate that 180 out. Now I'm going to go switch tail press, open up the upper body, counter rotate that 180 out. Do that a couple of times. Tail press, open up, 180. Switch tail press, open up, 180 out. We're going to do the exact same thing now, but we're going to do it on the nose of our board. Nose press 180. So, I'm going to go into that nose press, but as I'm in that nose press, opening up this upper body, opening up so that I can counter rotate a 180 out. Switch nose press, open up, counter rotate out. Do that a couple of times. Let's go again. Nose press, front one, switch nose press, front one. Now, we're doing this with no bar right now. This is your entry level practice area. This is also the exact same movement to do these tricks buttering. So if you learn the movements I'm doing right now, you'll be able to do these as buttering tricks. You don't have to take them to rails and boxes at all. We're going to do, before we go onto the bar, we're going to start doing it with backside 180s. So, as I face you right now, start off by practicing a backside 180 using counter rotation and a switch backside 180 using counter rotation. Upper and lower body twisting against each other. So it's almost like I take my hands to the back of my board while looking forwards. So then I'm going to hold on to this bar and 180 using that. Looking towards the camera, here I am, holding this bar, counter rotating. Doing a 180 with all of your core muscles engaged, making that twist happen. Here we go, I'm going to move this to a tail press. I'm lining up this way just so you can see it. I'm going to get into that tail press position, and when I'm balanced and stable, take my hands and body towards the tail of my board, still looking forward, counter rotate a backside 180, switch, tail press, hands and body to the back, counter rotating a 180 out, okay? I'll face the camera, here we go. Tail press, backside 180, tail press, backside 180, switch tail press, backside 180. I'm buttering these tricks a whole bunch. Now the 4th variation of this trick, nose press back one, switch nose press back one, switch nose press back one. Here I am, riding towards you guys, getting into that nose press, still looking forward, but having my body go towards the tail of my board so that I can counter rotate a 180 out. Switch, which one am I going? Switch nose press, counter rotating out. Let's do that again before we go into the bar. Here we go. Nose press, counter rotation, back one, switch nose press, counter rotation. Okay, we just did 4 tricks, buttering versions. That's your entry level practice point. We're moving it up. We're going to a harder thing. We're going on to the base piece of the balance bar. I want you guys to try to keep up with me as we do this. This is going to be a bit harder. You've got to add that lateral movement like this. That kind of movement where you're going up and across and you're adding more balance. We've got 4 tricks. Let's start with tail press and front one out. Tail press front one. Now I'm going to go switch tail press front one. Switch tail press front one. Again, tail press front one. As I do this, look how I'm opening up my upper body, opening up so that I can counter rotate out. That's how you do it on the mountain. That's how you do it when you're snowboarding. Switch tail press, front one out. Okay, let's go nose press. Nose press front one. Front side's a little bit easier. Most people find it that little bit easier. That's why we're doing it that way. So we're gonna go nose press, front one, switch nose press, front one. Now, you'll notice every time I'm doing this, I'm going over to the other side. I'm doing that on purpose because it makes it that little bit easier. Go over, back over. Just makes it easier in the training type environment. Nose press, front one, and switch nose press, front one. There we go. Counter rotation. Okay, we're going now, nose press, back one. No, tail press back one. Let's go tail press back one. So for that tail press back one, I'm still going up into the tail press, feeling balanced on that tail press. And when you're up there and you're feeling good, take those hands, keep looking forward, but take your hands to the tail of your board so that you can do a 180 off using only your core muscles. Switch tail press, back one out, back one. Now notice when I do this back one, there's that little bit of a blind landing happening. So here I go. Tail press, back one, blind landing. Riding away into my new stance. Switch tail press, back one, blind landing, boom. Now, blind landings, you guys already know about that, so I'm not gonna talk about it too much. Whenever you do that backside one, you got those blind landings. It makes it a little bit harder. Fourth trick, nose press, back one. Nose press, opening up my upper body towards the tail of my board, popping out, back one, blind landing, riding away. Switch nose press, back one. Again, nose press, back one, blind landing, boom. Riding switch, switch nose press, back one. And the fourth trick. Did I just do nose press? Yeah, I did. Yeah. Okay, we did all 4 tricks. Now, I'm gonna give you a really hard one. This is kind of tricky, but you can try this out. If you can get up onto the bar and you get into your tail press, you can try to do this. So I just did a 180 and landed in a switch tail press, and then from here, 180 back to a normal tail press. That's some high level training. So if you're not ready for that yet, you can try that without the bar. Tail press, 180, switch tail press. 180, normal tail press. Landing. You can do the same thing. Nose press, 180, switch nose press. 180, normal nose press. Doing that on the bar is super complex. But what I want to get you to is the ultimate training. WTP rail extension. And why we're doing this makes it harder. The harder you make it on yourself, the better you're going to be able to do this on your actual snowboard. If you're not ready for the rail extension, just stay on the base piece. Keep doing the base piece, even on this video. Right now, if you want to be in the base piece, that's fine. I'm going here doing our final 4 tricks on the top. Tail press, front one. And I want to get over this side to make it easier. Tail press, front one. Do that same trick again. Tail press, front one. Switch tail press, front one. Now I'm going to go nose press, front one. Nose press, front one. Counter rotation. Switch nose press. Oh, didn't get a good one. Switch nose press, front one. Kind of cheated that one a little bit. Tail press, back one. 2 tricks to go, guys. Well, we got 2 main tricks. Tail press, back one. Didn't get a good feeling, so I didn't do it. Tail press, back one. Switch tail press, back one. And the final trick, nose press, back one. Nose press, back one. Switch nose press, back one. Okay, we'll do those last 2 one more time. Nose press, back one. Switch nose press, back one. That's it, guys. 4 tricks, 3 different levels of doing them. Do it where you're comfortable. Buttering, boxes, rails. This is a 10-minute snowboard follow along workout. I'm Nev Lapwood from Snowboard Addiction. Our goal is to improve your riding.